For many of us, this has been an eventful week. School has ended for our children, and now our daily routines that are so set during the school year are now totally changed. Hopefully, all of us are planning and we'll have the opportunity for some family vacations this summer. And those events are indeed precious, to be away from the demands of work, to relax with family and friends. We need that. We don't only need that during the summer, we need it every week. It is why the church gives us, in the life of faith, Sunday is meant to be a special day of rest, to be a day away from the normal routine where we can be recharged and refreshed in the very life and love of God. And so when we have time away, do we do this? Do we, when we have downtime, seek out a time of prayer and communion with God? Do we carve out each day or each week times when we just commit to reading sacred scripture or some other good spiritual reading, again reflecting upon the treasures of our faith so that can be truly refreshed? You know, today's second reading is a great example of how, if we take time to read the scriptures, that they can open up for us treasures of deep wisdom and consolation. We're in chapter 4 of St. Paul's second letter to the Corinthians. I think all of us know that St. Paul founded that church in Corinth, and then after he established it, about 7 years later, he had learned of great dissension, so he wrote his first letter there. And it's arguably one of his most comprehensive and exhaustive, because he's not only writing to those people of that time, but he's writing to all of us. And so then he follows up a couple years later with the second letter. Scholars say it's a more personal plea when he speaks with great passion of his love for this community. And so in this part of chapter 4 that we just heard from, it's a depth of, again, very important aspects for reflection, but we can easily miss it if we're not taking that time to reflect, where we can hear it and we can forget about it. I'd like to give all of us a homework assignment, if you will, to take 5 minutes, and I know for a fact that all of us have 5 minutes this week, and just prayerfully read chapter 4 of that second letter. It's only a page. But again, to pause and to reflect upon it. 4 beautiful insights that St. Paul gives to us. First, he writes, "Everything is indeed for you." Do we ever think about this most basic truth? That all that God has done in creation is for us. He is perfect in infinite generosity. He only continuously loves and gives. He's given us everything, and he promises to give us everything we need in our journey home to him. Then St. Paul continues and he writes that all that God has done for us is so that the grace that has been bestowed in abundance on us may cause the thanksgiving to overflow for the glory of God. That everything is to prompt in us this sense, again, of gratitude to God. At every Mass, in the preface to the Eucharistic prayer, and there are many options to choose from depending upon the liturgical season and the celebration, almost every one begins with the priest saying what we'll hear tonight, what we've heard hundreds of times: "It is truly right and just, our duty and our salvation, always and everywhere, to give you thanks." Again, do we do this? Do we thank him continuously? Because if we do, then that spirit of gratitude will prompt in us a deepening joy.